Welcome to Disability Advocates and Resource Center, lighting the path to independence for all, serving Pitt, Beaufort, and Wilson counties. We are located at DARC 702A Johns Hopkins Drive, Greenville, North Carolina 27834. We can be reached at 252 355 6215 or 888 541 7227. Adolescence is an important time of growth in any young person's life. The following video will cover topics that will help you navigate your way through this period in your life.
I've had to overcome a lot of things, different challenges and things. I think the harder part is having more transportation for me, and challenges to prove that I can do just as good as the other kids in the school, and that I'm just like everybody else, just in a chair.
As far as traits of a good leader, I think good leaders, right away, they need to be good listeners, and they also need to be good listeners is very important. I also think, obviously integrity is a big buzzword you're going to hear a lot with leadership. I think you're going to hear a lot of, just morals is a big one, which goes a little bit with integrity, but it's also different. I think decision making is also a thing that's overlooked when leadership. People automatically say, oh, they need to be good people and be able to speak well, but I think decision making is very important. And then again, I think a big piece that's missing is that whole managing relationships, and that goes along a lot with social skills.
I believe that leaders are not so much made because they wanted to be leaders, but simply because they have certain traits that make them that way. And oftentimes you're either born with those leadership traits or not. You see it even in small children at daycare. There are some kids who just automatically follow, and other ones are the ones that jump in and take charge.
I don't see myself as having a disability because it's never stopped me from doing what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, and if I couldn't do it, I figured out a way to do it. I'm always planning. Like if I knew I were going somewhere, I'd be thinking ahead, okay, what if this doesn't work for me? What am I going to do to fix it so it will work for me? I'm always thinking of things around the house that I could use to help me do what I need to get done that I might not be able to do without some assistance. I have lived by myself for 10 years until recently, but and I was fine. I wash clothes, I do dishes, I do everything anybody else does. I can't reach into the bottom of the wash machine, so I got some salad tongs, and that works good. But I have just recently gotten a front-loading wash machine. So you just have to make do. You just have to figure it out. Life doesn't stop because you can't reach the laundry in the bottom of the wash machine.
The first thing I would say is do not miss a single day of class unless it's absolutely necessary, because if you do, it can get you behind. And for any other advice, I'd say keep up on the work, try and do your best, because you need the college in order to get your job, and you want to do the best you can through the college.
I would say one of the biggest or most important traits that a leader needs to have is that ability to hear other suggestions and hear others' thoughts, because you may have the path, you may know what the right answer is, but in order to bring people into your way of thinking, it's good to hear them out and let people know or allow people to know that you are hearing what they have to say and that their input is valuable, even if the direction you may end up taking on a certain project or a certain effort is going to be different. When people understand, when people know or think that you are hearing what they have to say, they tend to trust you more. And so I believe being able to listen and hear other people's input and ideas is very important as a leader.
Really, leadership, I think, has a lot of different meanings. I think if you look across the country, and one of the things you learn in higher education is there's probably close to 15,000 different leadership theories out there. And I know that seems like an exponential number, but it really is true. I mean, there's that many different leadership things out there, and you're going to get a lot of variations. I think in its simplest form, leadership is the ability to work with others and to really motivate others into whatever the common goals of the group are. And leadership, in a nutshell, is being able to work within a group setting and be the forefront and the spokesperson for that group. One of the things in leadership that I think is often overlooked that I've read quite a bit about is being able to manage relationships. And people forget about that a lot in leadership and talk a lot of words about integrity and motivation and things like that. They use as buzzwords. But at the end of the day, I mean, leadership really is a lot of managing relationships between you and your constituents, and really just constituents and constituents. So I think that's a big part of it.
We try to push inclusion whenever possible, meaning that if you have a child who's high functioning or adult that's high functioning and we offer a program, hey, why not try it with typical kids? Because I've seen over the years that I've been working that not only do my volunteers and my participants get something out of it, but the people involved get something out of it as well. They see their lives change different because you may think, hey, my life's bad, or have something going on in your life that you just quite don't understand. And then you have this athlete or participant who has a disability but is still smiling, still enjoying life. And that makes you reflect on your life and say, well, maybe it's not that bad. Seeing them smile, have no cares in the world, and they have it, they're considered to have a disadvantage, which to me, some of them have an advantage because, hey, they're just living life as it should be lived, no worries. And so that's what we try to push, the inclusion. This past summer, for our summer camps, we have an inclusion component where we were able to have some inclusion specialists where we have about 8 kids who are attending typical programs, and that seems to be working out very well. Again, the kids are pretty much kind of embracing them and having them come in and do different things and not really seeing them as different. And that's the beauty about kids. That's why I like to recruit kids, because they don't see any difference. They just see another kid just wanting to go play and do different things. And so that's the mindset I would like for my volunteers to take out of it as well. Just like, hey, it's anybody else just having a good time.
You want to try and get the teachers to understand your disability, what it is, and just to let them know you're a normal person, just there to learn, and that you want to be treated like a normal person and not like a stranger that just has this disability.
Challenges would be that I can't always do things that others do. Like, for instance, I can't reach the top shelf at the grocery store. So I have to stand there and wait for somebody to come down the aisle and ask them to reach it for me. When I do, they act like it just thrills them to death to be able to do it, but it's aggravating to me. But you just deal with it. Move on.
In order to find your voice, I would say just work hard at it, and if stand up for things that you believe in, and just keep trying to stand up for it, and just try and get to know people in the school, and make friends.
I think the best way to improve social skills is really just to get yourself out there. Try to find a way to uninhibit it yourself, and maybe it'll be, starting in a smaller group and then working yourself up to a larger group, and really just being around people and interacting with people. I think there's a lot of classes and some self-help type programs out there where you could say, okay, well, if I'm in this situation, here's the questions to talk about, or here are the topics that are appropriate to talk about. And I think that's important, for really anybody who's out there looking for a job or searching, just trying to meet people. That's a big part of it, is just what kind of conversations can you have? Can you carry on a day-to-day conversation with someone?
For the participant, you can kind of see because their social skills are building. They're increasing their, one time they may have been in the corner shy, not be able to talk to anybody, to the point where they're interacting with others. That's a huge step for them, because some disabilities don't allow for them to have that courage, to have that ability to associate themselves with other people. The parents, they just love it, just like my child. I've seen them grow. I've seen them come out of their shell. Thank you so much for offering these programs, because otherwise they wouldn't have anything to do. And then volunteers. Get a lot of emails from volunteers. it starts out as a class project. They need hours for certain things, maybe sorority, fraternity, or class. And then after their experience, it's like, wow, I want to do it again. I really enjoyed it. I never thought possible, I could really enjoy something this much as far as somebody having a disability. Because I guess they have a stigma for those with disabilities. And just seeing, say, hey, that you're right. You are absolutely right. They're just like you and I. I want to come back. Let me know when we have anything else. That kind of touches my heart because it goes to show we made a difference in everybody's lives, not just our athletes.
One of the other traits of being a good leader is being passionate about whatever it is, whatever your cause, whatever endeavor that you are working towards, whether it's your job, whether it's your church, whether it's your family, or other recreational activity. If you're passionate about it and that comes out in all of your actions, because often your actions do speak louder than words, then you are setting yourself up to be a leader in whatever that effort is, because other people around you are going to see that you have a passion for, say you're the team mom of your child's baseball team, you have a passion for wanting the children to have a good time, to learn good sportsmanship, to learn the fundamentals of whatever sport it is they're playing. So you are passionate about wanting them to have a good and positive season. And so other people are going to look to you for suggestions and maybe advice, those types of things. So become passionate, because that's going to lead you on a path where people accept you as a leader, because they realize that it's true, it's in your heart, beyond just what your role is. You believe in it, and you're passionate about it.
You have to be comfortable with yourself before others will be comfortable with you. Like, for instance, when I walk in a room, I don't see myself any different, so I don't expect anybody else to see me any different. I'd walk in a room with people just like you would. Yeah, I get stares, but then once they know me, it's not an issue. Because I'm comfortable with me. I'm real confident. I'm independent. Sometimes I'm a little too confident for some people. But I mean, that's why I'm where I am today. It's because I am comfortable with me, confident, independent, and I'm happy for the most part. Yeah, I have pity parties every once in a while, but 5 minutes and then gotta move on. I mean, sometimes you have to cry, but it doesn't help. But you can get it out and then move on.
I think leadership really is the ability to motivate a group, and I think leadership at its core is working in a group setting and motivating those in another group. And when I say group setting, that could be as small as 2, 3, 5 members, or a group as large as 1 million members. If you look at a country or something like that, where you look at our president or prime minister as the head of the country, that is a group. It's a large group, but they are a leader among that group. And I think really leadership is the ability to manage within a group, or ability to lead within a group. So when it comes to social skills, again, I think the main thing is putting yourself out there, being yourself, being honest. Maybe start in smaller groups, work your way up to larger groups, being able to interact and really have the right conversations. I think that's important in whatever setting there is. If there's a formal setting, you may have a different type of questions or kind of dialogue than you would have in an informal setting. That's always important as well.
When you want to find your voice, you want to stand up for things you believe in, and you want to just learn to hold your ground with that some. And you also want to you want to talk to different people, make friends, and just get to know people throughout the college.
They have made me who I am today because they didn't baby me. They let me do what I wanted to do until they saw that I couldn't do it, and then they assisted me until I could do it. I was one of 4 children, so they really didn't have time to baby me. I went along with everybody else, and then what I couldn't do, they just did. Help me do it. Brothers and sisters did the same. They never treated me any different, and I can thank them for that.
We have our website that you can access different things, www.grpd.info, and that's our main city's website. You can just see different things that we offer across the board. Another thing too that I mentioned more for our adults, we have a service club. It's called Action Club, where you have to be 18 and over, and they do different things in the community. They do Relay for Life, the heart auction, where they make hearts and they auction off for their club, and they attend conferences and stuff. So it's kind of making them feel like it's part of their Kiwanis Club, and so there's kind of like a satellite of them, and that shows independence right there, because they're all the officers. All of the participants are officers. So they give them some responsibility in that. So that kind of helps their self-esteem as well, because they're in control of their own club. They make, of course, need help, but they make their own decisions. Which, the whole independence thing is very key for some individuals as well. Ages, we have ages 5 and up, different programs. Special Olympics, we only start from 8 and up, but other programs we start at age 5, especially our summer camps, our parties. We have a Friday fun night where for more like teenagers, because we saw that was a target age group that, they're kind of in between. They're going through some things. They don't want to be with the kids, but they're too young to be with the adults. With a Friday fun night, gives the parents a break as well as the teenagers something to do. They just meet for a couple hours, do different games, activities, stuff like. And then that kind of brings them together too, kind of like a social hour for them.
There are several different types of leadership that come into play on almost a daily basis. I'm the boss, so I have people who are working for me who are looking to me for direction in their daily activities and how they perform their jobs. So I'm leading as the boss of our staffing and employees, but then also I work for a board of directors, but I have a board of directors who are all volunteers who look to me as the expert and the leader of our organization as far as the day-to-day activities and the direction our organization should take. So there are different types and different levels of leadership in any organization, and for me, it's to the people that I work for, being a board of directors. So I have to stay on top of things, and I have to understand and have the most current knowledge about tourism aspects and tourism projects and things that are going to put us ahead of the curve. But as far as leading my employees and leading my staff, it's a different type of leadership, because they are looking at me to be the example of work ethic and guiding them and giving them direction in how they can improve the services they're providing on a daily basis.
We do have a brochure that we send out through our department that lists our different events. The brochure comes out about 4 times a year, and that can be picked up here at our Recreation and Parks Administrative Office at JC Park, any of our facilities across Greenville, and we do put them at the libraries and stuff like that, so they're easily accessible. As well, if some people have internet access, they can access the information online as well. And those are the things we have. We do send some mailers out to people that we have mailing addresses for, and also emails, because now it seems like a technological age, people that has emails and stuff, so we try to send stuff out that way.
Hopes are to do maybe child life therapy and work with animals and kids when I graduate from college. And for now, my hopes are to get into is to work up and transfer into a 4-year college.
For additional information, please visit www.darcnc.org.